let's talk about what the supplies are for this blanket project. So I'm going to start with the boys blanket. You're going to need 2 colors of blue. The first one I'm going to be using is Red Heart Super Saver in just the color blue. That's color number 1. Color number 2 is also Red Heart Super Saver in a light blue. And then color number 3 is going to be in white. Red Heart Super Saver, just straight up white. Now, if you're going to use the girls' colors, what I've used is a Red Heart Super Saver. Again, in the darker color is light raspberry. The second color is baby pink. And then you'll also need white as well for the girls' blanket. So what other supplies are we going to need? First, you're going to need a size H or 5mm crochet hook. This is an Addie color-coded crochet hook. These are my favorites, and that's what I'm going to be using. You're going to also need a pair of scissors to cut the yarn. You're going to need a tapestry needle, and I like these bent tip tapestry needles for worsted weight yarn, so you're going to need one of those. And then you're going to need 4 stitch markers. Now with these stitch markers, I have 4 that are pink and 1 that's yellow, and I always have 3 that are pink and 1 that is yellow. And I always have 1 in a unique color so I know where to start and end a row and when I'm using stitch markers like this. And we won't need these stitch markers until we are doing the edging of the blanket, but it's good to know that you need 1 that is unique. So those are all the things that we need for the pattern, and we're going to go ahead and get started with how to make the squares. Before we get started in actually learning how to make the squares, I wanted to show you a completed square. And every square is going to be a main color for the body and then have a white edge. So every round, because we're going to be working in the round for these squares, we're going to do 5 of the main color, and then round number 6 is the white. So I just wanted to show you, this is then the dark blue, which I'm calling my main color, the darker color, whether you're doing the boy blanket or the girl's blanket, the darker color is my main color. And my contrasting color is the light blue or the light pink in the girl's case. So you're going to need the main color, you need 13 squares. And for the contrasting color squares, you need 12 squares. So that's a total of 25 squares for this blanket. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to start the square, we first put a slip knot on our hook. Always make a slip knot. And you can take a look at my video on how to make a slip knot. I have one that shows you 3 different ways to do it, and I will link that to this video and also in the show notes. So you're going to start with a chain 4. So 1, 2, I'm going to actually come closer, 3, 4, and then in the 4th chain from the hook, so you're going to count over 4 chains. I'm going to try to get this a little closer and a little clearer for you. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to do 2 double crochets in that 4th chain. So we're going to do 1, and then 2. So the 3 chains that we skipped count as the first double crochet of this little group of 3 double crochet. So there's a chain 3 right there, and then there's 2 doubles. Then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to do 3 double crochets in that same chain that we did the first 2 in. So we're going to go in here, 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to chain 2 again, or chain 3 again, excuse me. 1, 2, 3. do 3 more double crochets in that same chain. 1, 2, and 3. And then chain 3 one more time. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do 3 more in that same chain. And you can see how we're kind of making a, well, it's a square really, but we're working in a circular fashion. And then we're going to chain 3 one last time. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 that we skipped. So we're going to count from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to just slip stitch into that chain. And that is round 1. Now the tail I always leave hanging in the middle, and I tighten it up so that the center of the square is pretty tight. I mean, you still want to have a little hole there, but it doesn't have to be super tight. Now what you'll see here is the chain 3 spaces make the corners of the square, and then the 3 double crochets between those chain 3s are the sides of the square. So that's all we need to do for row 1. Okay, so now we're ready to start row 2. And before we start any more rows, I just wanted to mention that whenever I do squares like this that are always the same color, I always try to get myself into the corner to start the row. And in order to do that, we have to slip stitch in these first 2 double crochets and then slip stitch into this chain 3 space. So we're going to do that first. So there's this first slip stitch in the first stitch, second slip stitch in the second stitch, and then I'm going to slip stitch into this chain 3 space. So now we're going to chain 3 because remember that's going to be the first stitch of the corner. Then we're going to do what we call a beginning corner. Now beginning corner is chain 3, double crochet into the chain 3 space, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets in that same chain 3 space that we started. So that makes the corner. So that gives you 2 double crochets because remember the chain 3 counts as the first double crochet in the corner. So there's 2, a chain 3 space, and then 2 stitches in the same corner. So now we need to get over to this next corner, and in order to do that we have to work a double crochet in each one of these 3 stitches. So we're going to do a double crochet. There's no chains or spaces in between. 2, and then 3. So remember we did a beginning corner in that first corner because we had the chain 3, but here we can do a full-on double crochet. So we're going to do 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then we're going to chain 3, excuse me, and then 2 more double crochets. So remember a regular corner is 2, oops, there I split it there. Okay, so a regular corner is 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. Then you're going to work in the next 3 just like before. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do another corner in that chain 3 space. 1, 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. Oop, it doesn't want to. There we go. 2. Then we're going to do 3 double crochets in those, each one in each one of those doubles. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to do one more corner. 1, 2, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, or I should say 3 chains, then 2 double crochets. And then we need to work across these rows. Now remember, or not across these rows, across these stitches. And remember that we slip stitched into those, and some people have a little problem working into those stitches, but what you want to do is go into the same space that you did the slip stitch. So like on this first one, we're working into the chain, so we're going to work our hook into the same spot the slip stitch was. So we're working right over the top of the slip stitch, and we're doing a double. And then here's the second one. You can kind of see the hole right there. You're going to go into that hole, which is where we did the slip stitch, and do 2. And then again, there's another hole. So there's the 3rd double crochet. And then we're going to slip stitch in the top of this chain 3 that we started the row with. And that ends row 2. Now row 2 has the chain 3 spaces in the corner, just like row 1 did. But in between, we've added 4 stitches. So we had the 3 first, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 double crochets in between each one of those chain 3 spaces. So that's how row 2 works. Now row 3, 4, and 5 all work the same way. You have to slip stitch in that first double here, and then slip stitch into the chain 3 space, and then you're going to do a beginning corner here. So I'm going to do the beginning corner here for you. So this is row 3 or round 3, and we're going to do 1 double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets. So remember, the corner starts with that chain 3, so it's that chain 3 counts as the first double. So 2 doubles, chain 3, 2 doubles. Then you're going to double crochet in each of those 7 double crochets across, and then you're going to do a corner here, which is 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets, and then you're going to go across here, do another corner, across here, do another corner, across here, and join. And then you're going to do rounds 4 and 5. Now when I get done with round 5, I will come back and show you how to finish this up. Okay, now you can see that I have finished the main color of the square, and I have already fastened off. I joined in the first or then the 3rd chain of the beginning chain 3 of that last row, and did a slip knot here, or a fasten off knot. So I don't weave in my tails until after I have completed the square. So I want to go ahead and start with round 6. And with round 6, we're going to be using the white yarn. And I want to grab the end of the white yarn here. And I'm going to put a slip knot on my hook with the white. And always remember too, I didn't mention this in the beginning videos, but when you make your slip knot, always make sure you have at least 4 inches of a tail so that you have enough yarn to weave in your ends. So now remember when I was telling you before, I always like to start in the corner. The same thing happens when I am joining a new color, and I decided not to change colors. I decided to cut an end so that the rows look nice and neat and even. And so the way this is going to work, I'm going to start in the corner and I'm going to join with a single crochet. So I'm going to go into that chain 3 space and do a single crochet in that chain 3 space. So, and then I will tighten it up a little bit. So once I've done the 1, I am going to do 2 more in that chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. So there's 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space, or single crochets now. I'm so used to saying double from the other parts of the video that I'm saying double here, but it's a single crochet. So now we're going to start working in the back loops. So when you're working into these stitches, not in the spaces, but into the stitches, you're going to work in the back loop. So I'm going to do a single crochet in each one of these stitches, but I'm going to go into the back loop. So there's the first back loop. I split the yarn. This yarn is very splitty. So that's one thing about Red Heart, but I love it for baby Afghans because it washes well and wears like iron. So we're going to do a slip stitch, or a single crochet, sorry, in each one of these stitches all the way across. Now I'm going to show you a close-up here. You'll notice that the slip, working in the back loop, creates this ridge, and that's exactly what I want the square to look like. This ridge sets off the main color, and when we join the squares, it actually sets apart each square in the Afghan as well, or blanket, whatever you want to call it. I'm used to calling them Afghans, but they are, I guess we now call them blankets. So we're going to single crochet in the back loop in each one of these all the way across. And I just noticed there's a knot in my yarn. There we go. And then we're going to single crochet here. And in the back loop. So I'm getting a nice little ridge here. And a few more. I want to get to the end of this side to show you that, does not want to work for me here. So we're going to single crochet all the way across to that next chain 3 space, or I'm going to call it the chain 3 corner right now because that's the best way for me to describe what's going on this row. Okay, so there's the last double that I did the back loop single crochets in. So you can see there's a ridge all the way across. So now, put my hook back in here, and we're at the corner. So now we're going to do 3 in the space. So 3 singles here. And then we're going to start doing the back loops here. Now, you're going to do that all the way around. So you're going to do back loops here, 3 singles in this space, back loop singles all the way across to this space, 3 singles in there, that one, and then back loops all the way across here. Now, when you get to the end of the row, this might be a little interesting for you. What you're going to do is, because there's really not a front and a back loop where we did the slip stitch, I just go right underneath the knot and do a single crochet there, and then I do a single crochet in this back loop of this last double crochet, and then I will join and fasten off. So I'm going to take this square out of the picture here for a second and bring back the original that I showed you. So when it's done, you have 3 single crochets in every corner, just like you see here, and then single crochets in the back loop, like you see here. You can see how there's nice ridge. And that is all you need to know to make the squares. Now don't forget, you need 13 total of the main color and 12 of the contrasting color. So when I get all of those done, I will be back and I will show you how to start sewing them together. See you next time.